Okay, the recording has started. So this is the December 4th, 2018 Rook community meeting. And let's go ahead and get started on the milestone sync ups. The 0.9 milestone is rapidly approaching, and we want to see where we are. So 0.8, I don't think that even makes sense anymore.
Mhm.
0.9, it looks like everything is moving to the right, so that is good. There's nothing that we have in the to-do column. So good progress on that. We do have a lot of things in review. Yanis has updated the Cassandra operator PR with all the feedback, I believe, and he got a green build on the integration tests. So I need to take one final pass at this, and hopefully we will be able to merge it very soon. Is there any other status you want to give on that work, Yanis?
Yeah, Jared. So I also uploaded the PR for the scale down operation. It's not very big. It's really, it's not much new code. So since the KubeCon is also coming up, and you said you maybe want to do a demo of it, if we could have that in and it would scale down, I think it would attract more users because right now there's not any software out there that can scale up and down Cassandra on Kubernetes, as far as I know.
Yeah, that's awesome. I definitely, as we talked about the other day, I support that. Do we have a separate issue for the scale down implementation?
Yes, we do. We have a pull request for the design, and we have a pull request for the PR. You can go to the umbrella issue that you opened. So if you go to issues,
What the? What is going on here?
so yeah, this is the issue, the Apache Cassandra operator.
This isn't a Rook issue bot, is it? No, it's your
Yeah,
personal.
but how did I get to just regular GitHub?
I think you clicked on at the top issues also.
Yeah, I think so too.
Huh. Interesting. I don't care about the rest of GitHub normally, I don't think.
What about CrossPlane?
I care very much about that. Okay, is this the umbrella issue here,
Yeah,
Yanis?
that's the
Okay.
umbrella issue. So I keep a table of the status of things, and the last entry is the scale down. So we have the design PR and the implementation PR. The implementation PR failed the integration testing, but it didn't fail because the Cassandra integration tests failed. It was a random error on 1.8. The others passed.
Yeah,
And it
random
was
issue.
on the unknown test. So yeah, it's a design, the PR. It's not a terribly big amount of code. So if we could get it in, it would be awesome.
Yeah, so as we discussed, we'll get the operator itself in first, and then we will get the scale down in after that, right?
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Travis, this is there some contention on this issue here? Do we want to save that for later on in the agenda?
Oh, the PR itself, I think, I just opened it last night. Got green build on the first try. That's the first, I think.
Really?
Yeah, since I followed all your nice patterns for migration and all that. I ran a lot of integration tests locally. That's the only way I was able to have a chance at a green build first try. But
Travis also
yeah.
fixed an issue. I have to note that. Travis fixed an issue with the RGB test, which is blocking my PR basically. Oh, well, not blocking. I think we have agreed on a solution when we get to mine. But just to mention, there's a fix in it. So
yeah, there was the object user CRD was missing in the Helm chart, so I included that. But so other test logs show some errors basically, but we can ignore them in other PRs and master for now. Anyway, so yeah, Alex had a comment on there. We can discuss later.
Okay, sounds good. I know that these ones, this one here was one that the San Diego Supercomputer Center guys were hoping for. Is this converging?
I had a green build once, but now as Travis identified, well, and the others, I only had a failed build. But thanks to Travis, we now know what the issue is, and that is, or it seems to be the missing object, the missing custom resource definition in the Helm chart. And yeah, well, in general, the tests I wrote and seem to work, I would say. So I think when I go ahead now and remove all the debug output again, from my side, it should be ready to match. In point of like review, there's still one review needed again, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, to clarify there, so it's frustrating because it only fails, integration tests only fail on GCE, and it's failed like 4 out of the last 5 times. And from the logging you just added, it appears that the operator pod is going away because we can't collect its logs. So it looks unrelated to that other CRD user's CRD issue. But I'd say we got to think about how to troubleshoot that more. Or maybe you find that we get a green build and maybe it's just an unlucky random issue. So it's a little disconcerting still. So I still want to take another look at it anyway.
All right, the Exenta pull request. I think there's an agenda item for talk about that later, so we can have that more discussion on that then. How about the Ceph volume? Is there any big risk with that, or is that converging towards completion?
So I'd put it aside for a couple days to work on the V1 migration. I just need to finish it off. With some feedback I've had, there's some things I want to look into, but by end of day, if I can focus, I'm really hoping to have it ready. But it's still a risk, really. And tomorrow, well, it might take till tomorrow or Thursday at worst case, but I think it'll be ready. It's just coming in closer than I had wanted it.
So, okay, so then that's pretty much the main issues on here. So let's talk about the runway here, or what the specific timing is for the release. Travis, can you talk about your thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe one more thing to point out is the upgrade automation that Blaine is working on. So there's 2 issues for that there in the board. 997 at the bottom of the review. So Blaine has a PR for automating upgrade of the deployments. And then he's working on the documentation. So, or Blaine, do you want to summarize where you are with all of that?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yep, now I can.
Okay. Yeah, I have the upgrade documentation updated to the point where now I need to actually go through the upgrade process, starting with making sure I update the YAMLs from John's pull request and from the logs pull request from Travis, make sure all that works and that I get all that written down. But that's coming along pretty well, I think. I guess more of the issue that I'm seeing is hitting like the time crunch, working on making sure that the deployments of like the Mons and Manager and MDSs and Rados gateways get updated on just regular updates, if there are updates. And those are failing integration tests. Definitely was working before, but that might have been something that I I missed when I was watching. So we're trying to figure that out today, I think, is the bigger priority.
One thought I just had is that if the Mons are a challenge right now, maybe we could revert the Mons change and leave the other ones in there, because the Mons will be upgraded during 0.8 anyway with the other replicas that changed.
Right.
And then maybe in the .1 release we include the Mon upgraded, because we won't need it till then anyway.
Yeah, they just came up okay this last test I did when I updated my YAMLs with the latest master changes. So I don't know if it was related to the YAMLs needing to be updated. I'm not sure. That shouldn't affect the integration tests though at all.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, so we'll look into it after this. And all right.
You would talk about timeline then, Travis, now?
Yeah, so my thoughts around timeline are, well, we have a lot we need to merge to get this in, and I'd like to look closely at ordering of some of these bigger merges, because my V1 conversion will potentially have merge conflicts with some other things. So we don't have to talk about that ordering here, but as we merge things, I don't want to delay the V1 PR, but I feel like I'd like it to come in after the other big ones. If you think you might have merge conflicts with any Ceph work, let's talk. Otherwise, I'd really like to start testing full steam ahead by tomorrow on our latest master build. That means we have a lot to get in by tomorrow, especially the Ceph volume work and the V1, Cassandra operator, Alex's change with shared file, all those issues really. Because if we don't start testing by tomorrow, I think we're at risk to release by Friday. That's my thought. And Friday, I think, is the goal in my mind where we really want to release, so we can be ready for KubeCon on Monday. It's sort of all hands on deck. I think we can do it. We just need everybody to move to verification mode pretty soon instead of coding mode. So there's my thoughts.
Yeah, I think, I know a number of these issues here have been in review for a while. So being able to converge on those and, get the final approval and merge into master will be really key to be able to test the final, master thing, everything integrated into master and see where we are then.
Right. Like with the Cassandra operator, are you thinking today you'll be able to review it, or tomorrow more likely?
Yeah, I've reviewed it a couple times, so it's just a final pass now. Yeah. So I don't anticipate much from that because, we've done 2 rounds already.
Because if that could be done today, anything we can get done today is helpful.
Yeah.
But anyway. Any other thoughts people have on getting done? I
think that. Yeah, we'll talk about next sentence soon, but that one's one I'm kind of worried about because I don't know if anybody's really gotten to do a good review pass on that yet.
I see.
So we'll talk about that more when we get there. What's next? Okay. Anything else for 0.9 right now on the board?
I tried to make sure everything was there from my perspective.
Alrighty. Okay, let's keep going. I selfishly added these here in front of everybody else, and we're not going to talk about it for very long, but we just open sourced this project about an hour ago. And this is a very big project we've been working on at Upbound now. So there's some interesting integration that we can do with Rook on this. So I think that there's a lot of excitement and a lot of cool things. We have the GitHub repo is public, and we are welcoming contributions there. Come on down to CrossPlane. Okay, that's enough for everybody's time.
Well, That sounds awesome. So you've solved the multi-cluster thing. Okay.
It solved is I would not use that word. Started attacking is maybe a better way to phrase that. All right, so let's.
Jared, this is great news. This is
Oh, awesome! Yeah, dude, I'm
Yeah, I'm really excited
super
about
excited
this.
about it.
I'll definitely take a look.
Cool. Yeah, and I mean, we would love contributions there from you guys. That'd be amazing to get some of the Rook community momentum helping out for multi-cloud scenarios too. All right, so Yanis, do you want to go ahead and talk about this topic here?
Okay. So basically, what happened is Scylla liked the whole Kubernetes stuff. They liked how the operator worked and actually did things that are very difficult to do if you don't have something like Kubernetes giving you all of these primitives. So yeah, so like scale ups and scale downs all have to happen by hand, and it's very tiring, and you know you don't have all this Kubernetes goodness. So they liked it. They hired a consultant, and essentially they want to do their own releases, and that is logical and that is totally acceptable because they want to have control over when they release, and they may want to release fast or they may want a hot fix, stuff like that. So what they decided to do is essentially take the existing code as a base and then mutate it to bring it more to their business needs. So yeah, that's kind of a win in my book. I don't know, but I'm discussing with them maybe if they want to keep Rook in this and have their own have their own copy as being more ahead, and all this and the very stable stuff will be in Rook, so they can also leverage the integration testing and they don't have to do things all over again. So yeah, that's something that I want to say, and I want to say it because other storage providers may decide to do the same thing in order to have more control over releases. So I think it's a good thing to discuss here and see what solutions we can offer.
So do they want to just take pieces out of Rook, or do they just want to take the work that you did and then never look back at Rook again, or do they need Rook? Or I'm not kind of wondering what the relationship is there.
Essentially, they're wondering the same too. They're telling me, what does Rook give you, what we should keep, and stuff like that. And I tell them, it gives me consistent UX. It gives me the common types. It gives me the community. It gives me the user base. It gives me the integration testing. It gives me, a framework all ready to go, which is it's not really a solved problem. Integration testing in Kubernetes. Everyone does his own thing, and Rook has a very solid framework. So yeah, I'm presenting what I believe to be the advantages to them. What I presented as a solution is, I told them you can keep your own repo, so you can push releases and asynchronously sync those changes to Rook. That's what.
Yeah, that could be a good idea. And what's their relationship to Cassandra? Are they like a fork of Cassandra, or
They're a total rewrite. They're a total rewrite in C++, and I don't think you can even call it a rewrite because besides the interface, they have quite a different architecture. But all the interfaces are the same.
So like the management interfaces and such are still the same, and the protocols? I see.
Exactly. So you can manage them the same way, and that's why I added it to the operator, because it made sense. And yeah, that's what I propose. I don't know. I wanted to tell you in case you had any other suggestions. Maybe you think some other way would be better. I don't know.
One thing to consider is that with Red Hat and SUSE, I know there's this pattern of upstream and downstream. Rook is the upstream project, and at Red Hat we want to ship the downstream project, which is basically you do the work upstream and then you fork it downstream, and you have to backport things upstream or downstream. And anyway, there's a pattern there. I'm not as familiar with the downstream side of it, but
And that gives you your own release cadence, release velocity that you want.
exactly. Yep.
Okay, I think that's very important, and I think it's so important that it should be documented, like as a part of the Rook operator. So you can start with us, and when you feel that you need to, you need to have your own release and stuff, this is the model you can choose, and these are the benefits you get by choosing this model.
Yep. Yeah, there's someone probably more familiar with the downstream model on this call if they want to chime in. Or we can talk later.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, just wanted to give a heads up. And yeah, I know we have the Apache license and all, and you don't have to mention anything, but I'll definitely mention all the help you guys have given me, and I'll try my best to make sure you get the credit you deserve.
Mm-hmm. So, Sebastian, did you start to say something about downstream? Oh, maybe not. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and Yanis, that effort for the Cassandra operator and the thoroughness of it and stuff is really great. So, you're contributing a very, sizable, effort and contribution to the repo. So that's very, very appreciated. Yeah, and just keep us up to date, like with what you hear from their community about, if they want to follow a downstream model or, what their thoughts are, and we'll keep that conversation going.
Sounds good. If you want, I can introduce you to each other too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where are they? Are they in North America or are they somewhere else?
From what I know, they do have offices in California, and I think they're also in Israel because the founders are from Israel.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah, they're the guys who made the KVM. They're kind of famous in that way.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, let's keep the schedule moving along here. So Brian and Jeremy, you guys are online.
Yeah, I think Sebastian wanted to chime in. He was in the chat. I can let him go first if he wants.
No, continue. It's not really important. Continue.
Okay. Then can I have control?
Yeah, let me stop sharing then.
Awesome.
And see if you can start sharing now.
Let me find the. Can you guys see it?
Yes, I see it now.
Awesome. Yeah, so following Yanis's example from last time, I'm going to give a CLI demo. So just to remind everyone of what we do, we're Project Alameda. We do resource prediction for individual pods as well as pods across nodes. So for this demo, I have a single node OpenShift cluster, and we have an Nginx deployment that has 2 replicas as an example that we're going to predict resources for. And our Alameda has 2 pods on it. We have an Alameda AI, which is our prediction engine, and also our operator, which watches for our custom resource, our Alameda custom resource that will tell us which pods to predict resources for. So for the deployment of the Nginx, it's important that we have this selector match labels app Nginx over here, and that's what our custom resource deployment. Let me do the. Sorry. Alameda. So that's what our custom resource Alameda deployment would look for. We have a selector match labels app Nginx. So our operator would look for this resource and then match the labels and then predict resources for the Nginx pods. And then after we set that up, we can do OC get Alameda resources, and we should see the Alameda. And then this will find all the pods that match the label. So like for this one, it found both the Nginx deployment pods with one container in each. And then to get the resource prediction is which our prediction engine spits out is going to be, let's see, get Alameda resource predictions. And that's the same name as the Alameda resource, so I can't even see it. Hold on. Alameda-YAML. And then this will tell you the predicted CPU and memory usage for the future 30 minutes. So right now it's my time is all messed up, but it's 5:28 for this UTC, and then it goes up to 5:57 granularity. And then we also have a recommendation. So this is at 5:28 we recommend to do this much CPU, this much memory, 5:38, 5:48. So that would be our recommendation that your operator can use to apply, or it can just use the raw prediction data that we have that just lists out all the predicted usage we have for each second for the next, or every 30 seconds for the next 30 minutes. So this is for memory, and then we have this for CPU. All right. And yeah, we're just wondering if that's like a very Rook friendly way to use our resource prediction, or if you guys have any feedback on it.
So your engine generates this CRD as part of its output. Then others are intended to look at this and adjust based on the prediction. That's cool. And it just looks at the CPU and memory usage to predict any pods you want, like Nginx in this case.
Yeah, you just match the labels like I showed earlier, the selector. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so initially we wanted to do like the whole scaling up ourselves, but then after talking to Bassam, he said is like more likely to use it if we just open it up for everyone to use like this way.
Yeah, like providing the raw data, kind of like exactly. That makes then a lot of applications can make their own decisions. It has a lot more general applicability with that design. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting. And so, and Brian, Jeremy, I'm sorry, I forgot which one you was talking
Brian.
about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so how does it handle if one of those Nginx pods was to die and then a new pod came up in its place and it's still got the same label though, does it track across that life cycle where it goes down and comes back up?
Yeah. So before our solution would like automatically detect if we stopped getting like metrics from a pod, and it would just delete that pod off the list. But then, so we just had a new build yesterday, so I didn't really have a time to go through this one. But I'm not sure if it's the same behavior. We're still working on that.
Cool. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah. But
this is. Oh, go ahead.
Or no, we're just wondering if like the usability seems like sane to you guys. Like, would this be like Rook friendly to use?
Yeah, I do think so because in general there is a whole lot of convergence on the Kubernetes API and Kubernetes extensibility mechanisms, and so this is kind of an example of that where instead of having to talk to like over an HTTP endpoint to like an Alameda server and speak some special protocol or have like a real specific knowledge of that there, it's kind of normalized on a CRD which you can just get through the Kubernetes API. So being able to, it makes it easier to consume because Rook is already consuming the Kubernetes API. We're already doing gets on CRDs and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So it just makes it much easier to start consuming and then having that raw data to make decisions in the operator for scheduling or placement or whatever. We'd have to think through that about how best it could use that knowledge because right now, its sort of scheduling capabilities aren't all that advanced anyways to begin with, but this provides data to be able to do, more interesting resource utilization and limiting and stuff like that. So in the mechanism in which it's surfacing it seems like it's a friendly, normalized way for applications in Kubernetes to consume it. And the only thing I'd be kind of interested into is that like how this scales or under load in the cluster, all these data points that it's keeping, does that start causing more load on the Kubernetes API server or on etcd that's backing it, or how perf in the cluster gets hit by this monitoring?
Yeah. So our other prediction engine just collects like logs, or actually, yeah, it would create a huge load. I'm actually not sure if it's on etcd or if it's on just like on an external type of resource pools. I would have to check with our dev team, but yeah, it definitely does create some load on the cluster.
Yeah, and being able to get a better understanding of that would be interesting as well. And because I don't know how well CRDs scale, because in under the covers, CRDs data and its status and everything is all going to get to push down to etcd. That's the persistent store for all of that stuff. And I don't know how as these objects get bigger and bigger, I don't know if that etcd might start choking or.
Yeah.
Jared, there's
about
also the
that.
possibility. It
So
doesn't even have to be in the Kubernetes cluster in the etcd. You can have objects which, when they get called, you can generate what is outputted. Like I think with API, with the
Oh yeah.
aggregate API, I think, or something like that. For example, Stash uses that to, when you get the list of backups in Kubernetes, it will basically go in the back and ask the backup server, hey, what backups are available? So that could be a possibility too.
Is that through like a webhook or something, or?
I'm not sure what the actual name is, but as I kind of just said, it's basically working like that. You do a GET request, and then it's sending out in some way to the API and returning what your own API so basically is set, or well operator.
Interesting. Yeah, that might be something for the Alameda guys to look into to see if that's a viable, like more performant way of storing this data.
I just wanted also to add that the last some issues I checked that were a couple of years old mentioned that currently TCD supports maximum 1 megabyte per object, I think. So maybe that's something to look into.
1 megabyte
Yeah,
per op.
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that. All right. Yeah. We'll definitely look into that. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I think just as a quick comment for the limits there, I think there is, I can't say the name right now of the file, but there is a file in Kubernetes which contains, I think, most constraints of the Kubernetes API, like how long are labels allowed to be, how big are annotations from size are allowed to be, and stuff like that. If you ping me on Slack, I think I can find the file again and send it to you.
Sure. Yeah. I'll definitely contact you and see what we can do there. Sounds good. Thank you.
One more question too is that, so is this, there's nothing specific here around like monitoring storage pods or like Rook specific pods. It's for any pods you might have. So the Rook has, other backends have been related to storage. So so how is it specific to storage, or is it, it's a great CRD application. I'm just trying to make the connection with storage specifically.
So it's definitely not tied to just storage, but we see a big use case with storage because I don't know if you remember last time I asked the question, like, how do you guys ensure the resources don't conflict with each other? Because when Ceph, it rebalances, it uses a ton more resources than normal, and then Cassandra is really resource heavy. So this is a way to like operate the storage pods like economically,
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
Brian, sorry, go ahead.
So it's not tied to the storage, but it has a great application there for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Brian, this is Nick.
For the whole application.
So this is cool stuff actually, and in general, prediction of any source is cool stuff, and has to be there, in my opinion. My question is, do you guys have like some prototypes or thinking about can I go closer to prediction of some user metrics, such as, for instance, because the Rook is essentially all about storage, like for instance, based on the user usage of the storage, let's say you're going to be out of capacity in that many months or something like that.
Oh yeah, so we're already a plugin on like the Ceph master branch, and we're going to be released in the Nautilus release, and they have capacity prediction for the Ceph clusters. So it's our prediction engine basically, as long as you can give us like a pattern and feed us metrics, we'll be able to give you guys an output. So it's not tied to just like CPU, memory, and stuff like that.
So is that metric like collected through Prometheus or some other way?
Prometheus. Everything is through Prometheus.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
No problem.
Yeah. Maybe I can give you a quick introduction. Actually, besides the CPU and memory, we can also predict the capacity and the health so that we can monitor the hardware, the health, and the general prediction for the specific disk or node.
Very nice.
And the time interval actually is not limited to 30 minutes. Actually, it's configurable so that we can generate the short-term and long-term prediction. So the short-term prediction is the more like the, and the more you can adjust the resources to meet the short-term task. For long-term prediction, that is for user to plan ahead for the future infrastructure planning.
Cool.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next item in the agenda. Thank you very much, Brian and Jeremy, for that update there. That's definitely really cool stuff. I like the direction that's going in. So let me share my screen back again. All right, the next topic we have is Dimitri about the Nexenta EdgeFS PR.
Yeah. Okay. So we're basically ready for integration into 0.9. We completed documentation. We completed all the CRDs, all the necessary integration frameworks now passing. We do appreciate some additional feedback. So if you have if you have a few minutes to take a look and they like last minute changes, we're very happy to do like, hey, change this, change that, this grammar issue, so on. We'll highly appreciate that sort of things. So in this release, it's going to be alpha operator and alpha CRDs. And we're planning to migrate to beta in 1.0 timeframe, where we also kind of would like to pioneer a new idea of adding multi-backend support for the Rook itself. So I think the CF guys also will appreciate this work, where essentially we can, not just do the host network, but actually define the specialized interface to run the backend I/O and the front-end I/O, which is especially important for isolation between the multi-tenancy use cases. So that is also kind of our agenda for 1.0. But what is currently not working in this release is scale up and scale down. Because we're using the stateful set, so we have to actually do some hooks into operators. This is not yet fully done, but I think as first integration, what we have is pretty good. It gives nice backplane, storage backplane, essentially, which provides S3, extended S3 protocol, NFS, scale-out NFS with multi-head access, and also iSCSI with a CSI and snapshots and so on. So we pretty much ready. So I guess we're just looking for feedback. I think Anton also had a few questions. Anton, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. There is only one question because we are using our public Docker repository to store operator image for operator CRD, and I think when you're able to build our operator image, we can change operator image in code. So when we should change it to Rook repository. So that's it.
Is that the operator image you're referring to? Is that the one that would be specified in your YAML files, or do you have it somewhere in the actual source code as well?
No, in YAML file.
Oh, okay.
But currently, YAML file image its points to our
Yeah,
Docker
exactly, because we
repository.
haven't published yet. Which, yeah, that publish wouldn't happen. We don't do that on pull requests. I think it wouldn't happen until master. And I'll have to go and create the new repositories for it on Docker Hub and such. So normally, what we do is just before it gets merged to switch out in the YAMLs to Rook / edgefs or Rook / Nixit or whatever it's supposed to be, and just do that right before we merge, pretty much.
Okay, got it. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah, thanks, Anton. Yeah, so again, so we basically ready. If you guys have some last minute feedback, we're happy to do it this week, and pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, this is great progress. I'm thrilled that we're gonna have Cassandra and the Nixit edgefs implementations. We didn't expect either of those until after 0.9, so getting them included in this milestone is huge. I'm thrilled with that.
Thanks, Jared.
All right, so we got to keep pushing this week, then, guys. All right. Okay, so let's move on to this pull request here for 2216 about allow specifying custom Ceph user and secret name.
Yes. Well, I basically added it to the community meeting agenda just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Just right now, as Travis and I kind of said earlier, there is an issue in it, but well, it isn't an issue as far as I understand in my pull request, but it is an issue in the current master. Right, Travis?
Well, we haven't seen the GCE issues in master, though. That's what I'm concerned about.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the logging issue around user CRD is in master, but it's not causing master to fail. So I feel like
but I already had a green build sometime. That was more or less the weird thing.
Yeah.
If you go back, I had a full green like yesterday or so, but then, well, it all went red again.
And there's no good reason that it's only affecting 1.9 with GCE. Like, just why? I don't know.
Can't seem, it's like all other are green. Hey, put it away, man.
That is so frustrating, man. God.
Yeah.
Put it away.
Yeah, and at least I would like to see that. Well, from my perspective, we have identified the issue, and Travis is going to add the missing CRD to the Helm chart in his pull request. Or in the end, it's about how we should continue. As right now, I think you can do the last sweep, Travis. I've implemented most of your feedback, so. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, did it just fail on? Oh, it just had a random unit test failure.
What? Really?
We have a random issue with unit tests on occasion. That's I'll hit restart real quick, and just.
Okay. I think before that it was like green all but 1.9. But 1.8 is passing for whatever reason, and that is the weird part for right now.
Yeah, like 4 out of the 5 last builds, all green except 1.9 GCE.
Yeah. I think we just go ahead and drop 1.9. Not 1.8.
And the failure there was consistent. Yep.
Yes.
Interesting.
But it's, to put it like that, it's the object store failure.
And this is a file system change.
Yeah.
But,
now it's building.
But it looks like it's because the operator pod is disappearing and we don't know where it went.
Maybe it takes some vacation from all my testing also. Who knows?
I think the operator needs a vacation.
Yeah, so we're close. We just got to figure out the integration failure.
Yeah.
All right, and then do you have more, Alex?
No, I just wanted to say that then finally, good news for Dimitri. We can merge it and hopefully, get it in 0.9.
For this one.
Yeah, for this one.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, and Travis,
Yeah, before this one, real quick, if we just bring up the Kubernetes security issue that was announced yesterday.
is that linked somewhere here?
I didn't put a link.
Just linked in the issue, in the pull request or issue.
Which one?
Oh, there. That's right.
If you just go to the
Alex put a link.
if you go to the results issue, it's 2316.
Just say
which is linked there.
Resolved
It
issues?
is linked.
The link
No,
in,
no,
the,
it's
in the PR there.
this
There's a link.
Oh,
To,
this issue. Gotcha.
yeah, that
Yeah.
issue
Okay,
has
okay.
a link to the security issue.
A bit further up, the CDNet article.
Yeah, I read this article yesterday. It's pretty gnarly.
So basically 1.8 and 1.9 are not going to be supported anymore because they aren't backporting the fix, right? So I guess I'd like to propose that we don't just immediately remove support for those. Like if people need time to transition, then they're going to need time to transition, and there's nothing that really prevents us from running there. It's just are they do they want to continue running on those platforms? But as soon as we fork, or as soon as we're done with 1.9, I think it makes sense to remove 1.8 and 9 from our test matrix at least. So I'll just put that out there as kind of independent from my PR. But does that make sense, or other feedback on what versions to support?
Yeah, well, I think one problem would be that if we only, in quotes, drop 1.8 and 1.9 for the upcoming 1.0, as far as I understand right now, I think that the 1.10 or something would also not be released. As far well, in one of the issues at the Kubernetes side, I think I read something like there's support for the last 3 versions unless it's a long-term support release. So I think that, well, in case of as it is right now, 1.13 has been released yesterday/today. There's, well, basically, as I understand, no support anymore for 1.8, 1.9, and, well, 1.10 is still supported, as far as I understand right now. So I think dropping just 1.8 and 1.9 is problematic in point of, well, on the one hand, we have OpenShift to support. On the other hand, that there will be probably at least 1.14 when we make another Rook release, I would say right now. So that can be a potential problem, again, for the future if there should be a security issue.
So I think matching what Kubernetes is supporting is a good place to be by default.
Yes, but as I said, the problem is with OpenShift. Because I think are they more than 3 versions behind? Or are they already a bit more up to date?
I think they just released, was it 1.12? I got to look at that announcement mail again. Yeah, there's definitely a delay there. Yeah, I'll look.
Yeah, could you take a look and comment that we just documented there? Just to be sure when we at one point are going to drop that support, then that we have it. And don't drop too much. Yeah.
Right. And so then with your other comment in the PR, or I guess on the issue, Alex, so about moving to app v1 for deployments and all of those resource types, right?
Yeah, that should be done simply because, well, extensions is, well, I think they will be automatically translated if we create a extensions object. But as far as I know, the extensions/deployment, or well, the deployments and stuff like that in the apps1 API, not in the apps1, sorry, in the extensions API will be removed at some point. But also in general, if we only support the versions which only in quotes have the apps version 1 API, we should also use only apps version 1.
Yeah. So I'm assuming we can make that change after 0.9 just because we're out of time right now.
Yeah,
Right.
after that, as we are not dropping support for 1.8. The problem is I can't seem to be able to find the 1.8 documentation right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if apps version 1 was already in 1.8 right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that it's in 1.9, 1.10, and so on.
Okay. So,
But yeah,
so we'll be fine for sure after 0.9.
Yeah, after that, yeah.
Okay. So I think
So
that's all.
does that conclude all these topics in here?
I believe so.
All right.
I only have a small community topic.
You do?
Yes, let me just make sure that it's is this working? I don't know. Wait. Is my camera being displayed?
Yes.
I see your face, yeah. Now I see your ceiling, I think.
What? Wait, let me because I just got something in the mail. I just wanted to show. You can see something. Can you see my hand right now?
Your hand.
Yeah, I see your hand, yeah.
Okay, now, okay. So, well, as I'm not seeing a picture of myself here in this case, I just got the Ceph Mimic shirt in the mail, which I got from Ceph Day, and
in August.
just wanted to show off. Huh?
Oh no, you were there just a few weeks ago.
December, yeah, in Berlin.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to show off, if you haven't seen them yet in the CNCF shop, I got a pair from the company I work at, Cloudability. Thanks to them, I got a pair of nice socks, Rook socks here.
Rook socks. Nice.
They will keep me warm. What's in every storage topic? So, yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple pairs of those too from Shanghai, from KubeCon China. I was thrilled. I was very excited when I walked into the conference, the exhibition center or whatever, on the first day and saw those socks.
Yeah.
In Seattle, they'll have new Rook sweatshirts as well. Is part of the swag.
Oh,
nice.
Jared, I kind of have to ask, in front of the community here now. Do you think there are still some polo Rook shirts left somewhere?
I don't know. I maybe Dan Kearns might be the only person who might know where those exist, if they exist at all still. But apparently, like the CNCF, like they partnered with these like merchandising folks that are making all this swag, and they make it for all the CNCF projects. So they're making new Rook sweatshirts, socks, T-shirts. I think I don't know if they're doing other stuff too, like other types of clothing. But at least we're not paying for it ourselves now. The CNCF is like has a deal with the folks. So opportunities.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Are there any other topics that anybody wanted to bring up that was not on the agenda document? All righty. Then we will go ahead and end the meeting now. And we got a lot to wrap up this week with trying to get 0.9 out for KubeCon next week in Seattle. So it's all stay close contact and try to get those PRs done and feedback incorporated quickly and try to wrap up as much as we can.
Yep. Thanks all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good day,
All right.
guys.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.